Well, good evening and welcome everybody to another Full Sail University online class. My name is Steve Kane and we are here tonight with the Audio Workstations class. It is a week one, a special week one Monday edition for our Thanksgiving week here. It is Monday, November 19th, little after 7 o'clock. It's been a great day out here in sunny Florida, no rain at all, and just sitting just under 80. It's been wonderful out there. We've got a wonderful studio audience with us tonight. Albert, Charlie, Frank, Jeffrey, Joseph, Jingleheimer Schmidt, Lala, Quincy, Richard, Robert, and William. Oh, my apologies. It is not Frank, it is Frank. And I want to welcome everybody, my live studio audience. Thank you for being here and showing up. It is my pleasure to be here with you tonight with Audio Workstations. We've got a great month for you tonight, or in store for you this month, and it starts off for a Thanksgiving, and we've got a pretty crazy week. We're going to have 2 lectures right in a row tonight and tomorrow night, but never fear. Just keep on going. We extended some deadlines, but don't just put off stuff, because then you're going to get caught up double time in week 2. So just keep on working as normal. Take a good turkey day off and rearrange your schedule, and you will be nice and cozy. So I want to welcome everybody, and talking about welcomes, I want to take a quick little poll. Has everybody watched the course introduction video found in our class? Actually, I should back it up one step and show you what it looks like when you log on. This course introduction video. All right. Yes, we've got William saying yes. Joseph, Jeffrey, Frank, thank you. Frank, thank you. Richard. Oh, who's else gonna be next? Come on, come on, come on. Quincy and Lala. Thank you so much. So, this is going to get you through. If you have not watched this yet, if you are watching me for the first time in this archive, I want you to pause and I want you to go watch that course introduction video. All right, if you're here from my live audience and you have not watched it yet, just watch it tonight before you go watch the archive again. So I want to ask my quick studio audience if they've got any expectations of this next month to come. Anything at all, whether it's about me or the lectures, your teachers, or the assignments. I would rather you ask them now and give me a chance to say, nope, that's not going to happen, and you not get disappointed later, than think it's going to happen and get disappointed later. And in the meantime, while you're thinking about questions to ask me, expectations, I'm going to give you my expectations for this course and how we expect you to do this. One of the expectations that Frank said is he expects to become proficient in Pro Tools. And I'm going to tell you, it's kind of like playing guitar. The more you do it, the more better you're going to get, man. You practice that Pro Tools a whole lot, you're going to get a whole lot better, you know what I mean? All right, sorry. Sometimes we slip into different accents depending on what's going on. I apologize for it. It depends on what character is coming out in my head. There's so many of them. The doctor and I have talked about that a little bit, but we're not going to go there. All right. So anyway, make sure you watch this course introduction video. It is going to make navigating through this course a whole lot better. One of the things it is going to talk about, actually, I wanted to talk about expectations before we went there. So one of the things that I expect of my studio audience is to not follow along with me, all right? I want you to just sit back, relax, watch me, pay attention, and be engaged in the lecture. Don't put me on while you're watching your favorite TV show or Facebooking or anything like that, because I move too fast to have you try to follow along, or to try to have you going around and try to multitask and watch me and watch cat videos at the same time, because you're going to miss something like a cool little voice in there, something like that, sneaking in. And but what I do expect everybody to do is watch what I'm doing, and if I expect it to make sense as I'm watching it, as you're watching it. If it doesn't make sense as you're watching it, I expect you to ask me a question and ask me to do it again. All right, so give me a quick question mark if that is good. Now, I do not expect you to fully understand it until you watch this video 2 or 3 times. And the second or third time, that's when I expect you to have Pro Tools open. I expect you to pause my video because you're going to be laughing at the jokes so much sometimes. Like, what did the fish say when he swam into the wall? Damn. Okay. So, yes, picking yourselves up off the floor. People are ROFLing and LOLing and ha-haing and LMBOing and all kinds of LMFLOPHOBOing and all kinds of nonsense. All right. So, I expect you to laugh at the jokes. And then after 2 or 3 times watching it with Pro Tools open and pausing it, that's and trying the things that I'm showing you, that's when I expect you to be able to understand it and explain it to somebody else, like your mom or dad or somebody, or your brother or sister or cousin or aunt or uncle or dog or cat. If you can explain it to your dog or cat, you are doing great. Now, because you somebody asked me, so no note taking. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. I like the idea of taking notes, however you're doing, but what I don't want you to do is trying to follow along with me, because as I teach, I'm going to go along doing some things, and then I might pause and jump down a teaching tunnel. And if you're following along, you're going to be like, oh, why am I following along? Right? And it's and I pause as I go through the assignments to jump down these teaching tunnels that you don't necessarily need to do. You just need to learn the concept behind it, because I'm wanting everybody to be scarecrows. You know, outstanding in your field. All right, I'm going to be here all month long, and we haven't even started grading professionalism yet, so I better start seeing the laughter excitedly come out in the chat room. Franck even gave me 2 syllables of laughter. All right. So that's my expectation. So give me a big capital U if you understand that I expect you not to understand it until you watch this video archive 2 to 3 times. All right? Good, good, good. And then give me the question mark again if you understand that it should make sense as you're watching me, because I should know what I'm doing, and if I'm a good teacher, I should be able to explain it. But if I don't for some reason, you're going to ask me a question. Thank you so much for your participation. I love this. This is definitely not the course to go make a sandwich. It's like, I can't answer you. I got peanut butter on my finger, and I don't want to get it on my keyboard. Right, this is not the course for this. I'm very interactive, totally interactive, bruh. All right, so, all right, that's my expectations. Now, I'm going to go up here, and somebody did ask me an expectation. Albert from Connecticut says, been a heavy Logic Pro user, and noticed that all the assignments are done in Pro Tools, so definitely expecting to get a better grasp on Pro Tools. Well, Albert, you are exactly correct. This is a Pro Tools class, so everything we're going to be doing is, guess what? Pro Tools. Hold it, wait a minute. Let me do this. And you will even dig it even more. Everything we're going to be doing is Pro Tools. How you like me now? So, That is a great question, though. So I understand that Logic is great, and if you're a songwriter, that is great. But eventually, if it is going to be big time, it is going to be mixed in Pro Tools by some big time person. So you need to have an understanding, and at least if even if you don't want to use Pro Tools, I want you to be better at communicating with the person that will be using Pro Tools. Because the better you can communicate with them, the better you're going to be. Frank said to become proficient in Pro Tools, and then we said that's much like playing a guitar or piano or anything like that. Joseph says he wants different voices. I don't know what you're talking about. So we'll just go on and see if anybody else had this stuff. Joseph says, so no note taking. And we're like, no, that's not what I said, Joseph. I said, take notes. I said, don't follow along trying to play on your laptop. You know what I'm saying? All right. So, yes, we're totally using Pro Tools for this class. And let's see, I think everything else we're good. And everybody else is just laughing. All right, so let's get started, huh? So you watch this course introduction video. It starts talking about the course resources, books, and the class archives. All right? So if you're not feeling warm and fuzzy about this course already, go under about this course and you will feel warmer and fuzzier about this course, because that's where the syllabus is located in a little quick glance and some extra like gaming information and some cool stuff here, right? Now, guess what's under books for this course? That's right, videos. No, I'm kidding. Books for this course. Now, you need to watch this video because as it is labeled, it is going to show you how to open your books in Acrobat Reader DC. Now, it used to be Acrobat Reader Marvel, but Stanley died. I'm sorry. That had to go. That's called an anti-joke. It's not funny. It's too early. Stanley, bless his soul. All right. um, Nobody's safe in Steve Kane's classroom. All right. So watch this, because otherwise you're going to send me an email like, dude, I don't know how to open your books. And I'm going to send you an email back saying like, dude, did you watch the video? And if you did, what part is confusing to you? And I'll explain it. All right. And then if you're not a video type of person, you're like, I want to read that stuff, man. Check this out. Follow these steps to download each book. All right, now check this out. You do a little bam bam. It's going to show you, do a little right click in, do a little Acrobat downloading, and then your 101 book and your 110 book will download beautifully. If you do not do this exactly right, you are going to be, all right, sending us an email like, oh, the password ain't working. Right? So you need to just copy this. The two biggest mistakes, people try to open it up as a web browser instead of saving it as onto your hard drive, right? After you download this, then they try to double click it and open it with preview instead of Acrobat Reader DC, because we know why we're not using Acrobat Marvel. Now, once you do that, you're going to have no problems opening the books. All right, so the video under the archive is going to show you exactly what's going on in each week and a breakdown of it. And generally speaking, on the first lecture of the week, which this week is Monday, but tomorrow, next week, it's going to be Tuesday, we're going to go over the Pro Tools assignment. And we fully expect you to take everything that you learn. And this Pro Tools assignment, by the way, is a paint by numbers. You're doing it exactly right or it's wrong, right? Because we show you how to do it exactly right, like I will tonight. And then we expect you to apply it those type of editing things and mixing things and advanced editing things into a very subjective way as you're going to do your remix. And tomorrow we're going to talk about going over and selecting one of the remix stems, and we'll go over this milestone and show you how to do that. And then every week you've got a test, but the video tells you all that. So without any delay, we're going to jump in. I want you to know that the softwares and installs and updates is probably the most crucial one to do first. All right. That's why it's labeled 1.1. All right. So as you do this, check this out. I mean, there's all this PDF. There's a video. It's pretty awesome. There's a video with inside the PDF. And everything is going to be just beautiful. Do this. Even if you've installed this, all right, it's important that you just go check it out and make sure you did it correctly. All right. Albert, don't ever apologize for asking a question, man. Is there a way I can view the book in a mobile Adobe Reader app? Password won't work in the app. From what I understand, Albert, unfortunately, it is not mobile friendly. It is only laptop friendly. And I get booed from the audience. Oh, gosh. But that is not my fault. But it is a great question. All right. So with these, let's see. Any questions about software installs and updates? There's a great video to watch in that PDF. Just follow it step by step, even if you've done it before, and things will happen beautifully for you. All right. Now, as I said, every first lecture of the week, except week 4, we're going to have a lecture where we talk about a Pro Tools assignment. And so when you click on this Pro Tools assignment, you get a little something like this. Right? Now, it's going to take you a couple hours to go through and do. Right? And then after I do this, I'm going to post an archive. It says Thursday right here. I meant to say Tuesday or Monday. But after every class, you're going to go under the class archives, which are under the class resources right here. And you're going to be able to see this video and all the fun jokes that accompany it. Right here. And notice that there's nothing up here right now because there's nothing archived yet. Alrighty then. So, with that being said, any questions before we start then this Pro Tools assignment? Give me an NQ if you've got no questions. Thank you, La. Thank you, William and Joseph and Albert, Frank, Jeffrey, Carlos, Quincy, Robert. Who's going to be next? I wonder. Who is it? They're waiting. They're like, not me, man. Not me. Okay. Sorry if the voice scared you. Sometimes I had one guy's like, dude, you got to quit doing that Batman voice. My little kid's getting scared. I'm like, take your kid out of the classroom, man. You're in class. No, I'm kidding. All right, well, if you've got no questions for me, guess what? I've got a question for you. What do you call a fish with no eyes? Just fish. Alrighty. So every Pro Tools assignment is going to come with a zip file, which is how we deliver our files and Pro Tools information for you. Then we've got a PDF guideline for you to follow, which I opened up in the web page right next to this tab. So in Pro Tools Assignment 1, we are going to learn some basic editing. Now, I'm not going to read this to you, but this assignment is designed to help you. I'm kidding. So it is. We're just working on editing. Now, the one thing I am going to point out is that late assignments will not be accepted unless prior communication with your teacher has been communicated with appropriately, and he has or she has accepted your request for late assignments. Give me a big U if you understand that. Actually, no, give me an NL in no lates, right? No lates. That's right. Ooh, William was the first one. William followed by Albert, followed by Richard. That was my first three this time. Whoop, whoop. All right. Sounds like the Wizard of Oz, Carlos says. That's right. I am the wizard, man. I am the ape man. Cuckoo show. It's a Beatles joke. I hate the Beatles. I'm kidding, I'm kidding, I'm kidding. It's like, how do you start a fight in a chat room? Say, I hate the Beatles. All right. Now, points are never going to be a surprise. Always check out that rubric, right? So let's do this. So open the session name PTA1. So when you download this zip file, right? And as Bradley, my big brother Brad, suggested, you're going to get very, very, very detail oriented in your file structure. So in week 1, I've already downloaded the zip file PTA1. And as I unzipped it, baby, look at this. It came with its own Pro Tools session file. And this comes with everything that you see here will come in your session folder. Now, excluding this one because I did this myself. All right. Now, and excluding this audio files for import because this was provided for you especially by Full Sail University. So you could have some audio files to work with, Nami. All right. So check it out, y'all. One of the first things it says is open the session file named PTA1. All right, so just a little, we're going to hit pause for a second. We're going to do a little teaching tunnel. Everybody put up a TT if you understand that I'm going to jump down a teaching tunnel real quick. We're going to learn about file structure. All right, thank you, thank you, thank you, Carlos, Jeffrey, and Lala. Nice. Nice. Teaching tunnels. Everybody's like, we're going to jump down a rabbit hole. Not me, baby. We're going to jump down a teaching tunnel. All right. So now check it out. So our file structure is like this, yo. This is called a session folder. All right. This is what you copy when you go somewhere else to work, like your buddy's house or a mixer, or when they send me your files. You send them this because then it contains everything that you need. If you only sent them the session file, true or false, get ready. Is it going to contain the audio files folder that might be needed? This is a question for you. No, it will not. Very good. I didn't ask for yes or no, y'all. I asked for true or false. Jeez, thank you for following directions. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Y'all know exactly what I'm talking about, man. Y'all did it great. I'm going to reward you with a joke. Do you know what you call a cow with 2 legs? That's right, Robert. Lean beef. You know what you call a cow with no legs? Ground beef. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Oh gosh. Hey, you know what you call a dog with no legs? Doesn't matter. He's not even gonna come. Oh lordy. All right. So we're gonna go with this session file. Everybody, give me a session folder. Give me SFO if you are cool with session folders. Right? Good, good, good. Session folders contain session files. Now, this is what you open up. That's what I open up to get this, right? To get this right here, right? And then I went to do a save as. Now, look, check this out. I can tell that I need to save because it's not grayed out, right? So, see, when it's grayed out, you know it's up to date. So I did a save as in step 1, and I named it Steve Kane PTA1, and it makes another one. I'm just going to do another one, and I'm going to call it C. It makes another one, see? All right, so check it out. See, there it is, see? Would you look at that? Just look at it. So we started off with PTA1, and then I did the step one for you, doing a save as before we even started working. And then I did one now just to demonstrate. Now, because what's going to happen, and this is still part of the teaching tunnel, y'all, is that as you work, let me show you something. Working sessions. All right, so check this out. Staying alive. Look how many session files I've got that access the same audio files, right? And so this way, I might do something different, right? Um, let's see. Home on the highway. Sometimes I name it by what day I'm working on it or what's happening by like if Sean's singing or you see some dates going on. Let's see. Staying Alive, I think, had a lot of them, right? So I can have lots of save ases. And what I tell people is that by doing this, a couple things are happening. Let's talk about this. All right. So, number one, this is great because then if you go back like I want you to and like I expect you to, um, you're going to have the original one to go back and do this again because no matter let's as we're taking a trip down the teaching tunnel, we're talking about learning quick keys because I'm going to show you some quick keys through the way because it doesn't matter if you are using whatever DAW you want to use. One of the best things you can do is learn some quick keys because if you're always going around looking at menus and things like that, people aren't going to think you're very competent. But if you use quick keys, they're going to build some confidence. So one of the easiest ways to do that in school is to keep doing a save as and then go back to the original. Now, when you go back to the original, you don't have to do the same thing every time. Like instead of duplicating it 7 times, go duplicate it 4 times. But just to go get the Command D function or whatever. Or instead of copying this address, go copy a different address and go practice this. Now, not only a different time for me, but realistically, and what we expect you to do as course directors is do this assignment like once a month before your next Pro Tools class. It's kind of like going to the gym or practicing chords, right? Because if you only do it once, you're not going to be ready for it 7 months later when your next big Pro Tools class is. So we expect you to keep doing save ases, not only through this course as you practice it every week, but also every month as you go through and just add it to part of your workflow of like, you know what, I don't have any Pro Tools stuff, so I got to keep my Pro Tools chops up. I'm going to go back and do my Pro Tools 1 assignment again and just do some extra exercises. Does everybody know what I mean by muscle memory? Give me an MM if you know what I mean by muscle memory, because if you play a guitar, right, and I say play a D chord, right, you probably know how to do it. But I guarantee you on your second lesson you couldn't just do it, right? It's something that is gained over time, and the same thing is true with quick keys like option and command and 1 2 3 4 5 and things like that, and little things I'm going to be showing you or other instructors are going to show you. So it's imperative that you keep practicing these so you keep this muscle memory going on, because the last thing we want you to do is get 7 months down the road and you're like, I forgot all that stuff Steve taught me. All right, so give me a CWT if you're cool with that. You're like, dude, you want me to do extra work, man? It's like, no, I want you to be scarecrows. Outstanding in your field. All right, so I did a save as. Let me show you how I did it here, just so you know. Oh, I already showed you that with the C. So we went under save as, right? So open the tracks list and open the clips list. All right, now this is one of the reasons why I don't want you following along as you're watching the video for the first time, because I've got to show you 2 or 3 ways to do this, so when you decide to take the Pro Tools certification exams, you know all the different ways to do this. But in reality, you're probably going to pick your favorite way, right? So I'm going to show you how to do all three of them. So we're kind of jumping down another teaching tunnel, and then we'll go through and add some of these. And again, I got to show you different ways to import stuff through the month and do all this kind of stuff. So we're going to do this now. So let's open the tracks list and clips list in a couple ways. Now, this is my editing window and is not showing. Now, the grandma way of doing it, now I'm talking about like, very slow. You know how like grandma, when your grandma goes to Google something, she usually goes to google.com first and then she types something and you're like, Grandma, you don't have to do that. You just go to, type it in and just do it automatically, right? Y'all know what I'm talking about, right? I mean, not my grandma, she's dead. But she loves that I talk about her during lecture. That's the biggest thing. So, the grandma way of doing it right here is going under this drop down menu and looking at the tracks list. Whoop! And see, look at that tracks list. Look at that. Whoop. Now, here's the cool way to do it. Now, watch this. Now, everybody, look at my mouse. I didn't know this, but check this out. If you wiggle your mouse, it gets bigger. Does that happen for y'all too? By y'all, I mean you guys. I know I've got some people from New Jersey up here. I mean, if I say y'all, for you New Jersey people, I mean in you guys, all right? All right, so everybody's mouse gets bigger if you wiggle it. All right, so check this out. I thought that was funny when I found it. Check this out. Watch. It's a mouse, it's a mouse, it's a mouse, or cursor, 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 cursor. Look, it's not a cursor, and then it's a cursor again. Dang it. A cursor, get it? Dang it. But look, when it's not a cursor, darn it, I double click. Watch this. Ba-bam! And it closes. Now, it didn't make the ba-bam sound. That was me doing it. So if y'all are at home, you're like, dude, everything is working except ba-bam. It doesn't make the ba-bam sound. It's not you. It's me. Some people are sitting back there wondering. I can tell by the look in your type. The font in your eyes. You're thinking, I wonder if I can open it the same way. And check it out. Watch. I'm a cursor, I'm a cursor, I'm a cursor. And then dang it, darn it, I'm not a cursor. And watch. 2 clicks again. Boom. It opens right back up. Some people are saying, holy moly. I wonder if I could do the same thing with the clips list. That's what you're wondering, right? Right? Because you're thinking grandma could go under here and show you the clips list, right? But you're thinking, I bet I can double click on that. That's what you're wondering, right? Right? Right. Thank you. Oh my gosh. That is so gratifying to have people interact with you when you try to teach them. Everybody's shaking their head expecting me to hear something rumble inside or rattle inside. Check it out. Check it out, Frank. I can go right here, watch my cursor, watch my cursor, watch my cursor, and then look, when it's not a cursor, boom, boom, my clips list appears. And then right here, I can go down here and look, make it disappear. Boom, boom. Now, check it out. You want to see a third way? Of course. Check it out. Check it out. I've got this little down arrow right here. And yet a third way I can open up the clips list. Boom. Like that. Closes too. And then just a single sound effect. Like boop. Boop. Like that. All right. Now, here's what we need. All right. So this tells me now, this gives me all the information I need for my edit window. All right. Now, so this has come with some stuff. This is my stuff here that I added so I can teach appropriately. And so it's not going to be in your stuff. So your stuff is going to look more something like this, right? So now we've got tracks and clips. And this is called our playlist. So check it out. If I hit play, nothing's going to play because nothing is in the playlist. And clips are pieces of sounds, right? And tracks are what I put them on. So this is kind of like different plates, and this is kind of like different food, and this is kind of like what you're eating since we're getting so close to Thanksgiving. All right, so let's pause for questions right now. All we've done is open the tracks list and clips list, and I needed to show you a few more ways to do this. Now, I'm having somebody saying that my screen is no longer showing. Is anybody else having that problem, or does he need to log out and log back in? All right. So everybody's cool. Give me a cool because it says in and out. All right, cool. All right. So try logging out and logging back in if you're having some difficulties, and see if that gets open. So we've just shown you a few ways to get the tracks list. Now, honestly, I usually do the little double click method, but realistically, I usually have this pretty much giving me as much real estate as I can over here and as much real estate as I can over here, right? So we see as much in the playlist as possible. So it wanted me to go import some audio files, the kick, the clap, and the hat into Pro Tools. All right. Now, so under the file menu, you get to import. Now, unlike other programs you may have used, it is very specific about what you can import, right? Or let me rephrase that. When I start a new session, we're jumping down a teaching tunnel. I tell it the file types I want it to record, the bit depths I want it to record, and the sample rates I want it to record, and how I want my stereo files to act. And I'm going to go over this in detail on tomorrow night's lecture. But because everything is 24 and 48 and all this kind of stuff, I want to show you that if you wanted to look at this, of how this was set up, the only window that's not under the Windows menu in Pro Tools, it's very easy. And by the way, these little quick keys right here with the little circles around them, that means they're the calculator buttons on the big keyboard. So if you're working with your main keyboard and you're like, oh, transport isn't working, it's because that circle is over on the big transport window, or those circle numbers are meaning on the counter pad, right? On the keypad, the 10 keypad. All right, but setup session is the only one that isn't under there. And so this is telling me that I've got a 44.1K session at 16 bits. So it's a session made for CDs, right? Because that's how I burn CDs, and that we're going to do WAV files. All right, so when I go to import these in, check it out. File, and I need to be very specific. I can't just go import and then go choose any kind of thing. I got to import audio specifically. By the way, the quick key there is Shift Command I, that little what I call redneck intersection. Y'all have all seen a redneck intersection, man. Y'all right? Got them big old squirrely marks in the middle of the intersection where they've been doing donuts and stuff, right? Shift Command I, right there. Y'all know what I'm talking about, y'all Northern South Carolina people. Y'all know. All right, I go import my audio. All right, so check it out, y'all. Claps. Now, see, it says add and copy. It's always going to say add, right? This is generally not what you want to do, because what it will do is it will only add it to the clips list and not copy it to your audio files folder. And eventually, that's where you want it, is in your audio files folder, right? So let's go to the correct one, 1812 PTA one. So see how I've got them audio files for import, and I need to get them there. If I hit add, it would leave it there and only put it in my clips list. Sure, I could use it, but then when you turn it into me, I'm going to have to give you a 0 because I won't have your audio files. You know what I mean? So now, Notice that it also says copy. Well, that will actually copy it into this audio files folder. And as I said, that's one of the normal folders in your session folder. So you want it to go there, right? Now, let me show you one difference. Like I said, it'll always say add, but sometimes instead of copy, it might say something else. Like, for instance, it might say convert. All right. So notice it still says add. Whoops, but now it says convert, right? So convert means that it's going to change it up a little bit, that it's going to convert it into your current session format, you see. You see what I mean? Like right now it's telling you that that chorus dot wave is a 24-bit 48K session right there, wave format, and that way it'll convert it down to 16-bit 44.1. You know what I mean? But if and when the bit depth and the file type and the sample rate match up exclusively correct, as they do right here, you will get a copy. And we don't even have to do that. We can select them all. And as our good friend Lala said, sorry, it is actually Lala, but it's a little more fun, I think, to say Lala. To say copy all, chicka bow wow. Hopefully she doesn't get mad at me for doing that. If you do, I'll say Lala. Or you can call me like Steve or something, like Stevie or something. All right, so check it out. Copy, right, boom, done. Now, the biggest way to screw up your session is to mess with this next thing. Don't do this. Don't change anything. Let it do its own thing and just hit open, all right? Some people are like, dude, no, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save all of my audio files in this special audio files folder called beats I use to make hits and stuff, right? Don't do that. It's just don't. All right, put it in the session folder, audio files folder. All right, open. Bam. It automatically does it. Now, it's going to ask you, do you want it to go to the clips list or the tracks list? Now, the instructions tell you to go to the clips list, right? But, right, see what it says from the audio input, and choose clips list, right? So, people are probably wondering, but, homeboy Steve, what's the difference between clips list and tracks list? Because I'm trying to be a scarecrow out here, outstanding in my field. Well, you want to know? I'll tell you. If you got a little sample that you're not sure where you're going to use yet, just send that over to the clips list, right? But let's say it's an entire bass line, like boom, do I need to keep going? Then I might make a new track out of it. And when I make a new track, it's going to give me some places like, do you want to go to the start or at, you got a selection or spot? Is there a particular spot you want to go? All right, but for right now, we're just going to throw it in the clips list right here. Watch the awk button. Watch this. Boom! And they're right there. Bam! Now, look, the magical power, though, look at this. Watch it. And it's like I'm a magician. Jiggity-bee, jiggity-bah, blah. The online courses in 1812, I put them there, very It's hard to rhyme stuff with 12. So, I'm not going to try. So, look at this. Look at this. They were originally here. Copied them. Put them here. It's good. It's very good, right? It's good. If I did add, they would not get here. They're only copied there, right? Give me a CA if you're down with copy and add with that. Thank you, William, Richard, Jeffrey, Robert, Albert, Lala, Frank, Joseph. Very good. Very good. All right. Oui, 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 as my French friends would say, which is just French for yes, yes, yes. All right, so now check it out. It says when prompted, choose the clips list. We did that. And now drag them to the appropriately named tracks. All right, so let's jump down some more Cheech and Channels here. Cheech and Channels. It's almost like Cheech and Chongs. No, I'm kidding. Cheech and Chong. Teaching channels. So I can click on these individually. I can drag. I can option click to get them all on or all off. I will choose to drag. Now notice that they don't fill up everything. One of the first quick keys I'm going to show you. Everybody pause and look down to the space bar, which is the bottom big button in your computer. Now just to the left of it, you will see the command key, the option key, and the control key. And instead of calling these by their acronym, we are just going to say 3 fingers. So when I hit 3 fingers and then I press the down arrow, watch, it fills up my screen. And the cool thing is it does it no matter how many tracks are showing. 3 fingers down is one of my most favorite of quick keys because it always gives me the most real estate. All right. So we've got these tracks. So we've learned how to get the tracks there, and now we need to drag the newly imported clips from the tracks, right, onto the tracks. Now everybody's thinking, well, just get the grabber tool right there. Get the grabber tool. It even says grab it, right? Grabber tool. Right, now check it out. I can grab one and I can grab it. But who wants to just do this the quick way, or who wants to do this the teaching tunnel way and learn about all these different modes so you actually understand Pro Tools? That's right. That's what I'm talking about. I love this class, man. You're wanting to learn. Jeffrey Albert Frank for Robert. That was me thinking I didn't read Frank's name yet. Robert. Sorry. Robert. All right, check it out. So I've got these 3. All right, so the first mode I am going to discuss is slip mode. All right, now on slip mode, what happens is the grabber tool, and it affects all these tools, by the way. Let's say I'm going to get the kick. I'm going to grab the kick here. Notice I can slip it anywhere I want to. Now, when I say anywhere I want to, think about my sample rate, right? 44,100 places in every second I can slide this thing, right? So I'm just going to leave it there for a second. So see, it gets very inaccurate. But look, I mean, samples, I mean, I'm like right down on there, right? And check it out. All right, so, and just to show you a little trick, look, 48,000 samples, right? Look at where it is in time. Oh, no, you didn't. Samples. Oh, we're not 48,000, we're 44,100. Duh. Sorry. And look, 1 second. So everybody believe me, we're at 44,100 samples a second. So slip mode moves that all around. I'm going to move it later on, but I want to show you shuffle mode now as I eventually get the clap down to the clap track. Everybody give me a big C for clap if you're ready for clap. I was going to say big S, but I don't want that. I don't need any more S than I've been dealt with today, you know what I mean? All right, so I'm going to grab the clap. Now, when I grab the clap in shuffle mode, I want you to notice a couple things. As soon as I bring it into the field, by the way, now we can hear something. All right? So now we're going to discover what shuffle mode does. This time, instead of dragging it anywhere I want to, it's going to shuffle it. It's going to magnetize, right? And as soon as I bring it into the field, you're going to see a yellow line, and it's going to magnetize to the back of that. Then I'm going to drag it to the front, and what it's going to do is it's going to magnetize to the front, but look at where I am. I'll put it back to bars and beats. I'm sitting at bar 1, 2. It's going to scoot this one down to like bar 2, 3-ish or whatever, and it's going to take its place. And then as I move it again, it'll unsnap from there and it'll snap to here, right? So I'm going to show you. This is now my example of shuffle mode. Taking the clap, moving it to there. See how it automatically snaps? Do you everybody saw the yellow line? Now watch this. Look for the yellow line right here and chicka pow wow. Now remember, I didn't make that. I mean, it didn't make that sound. I did. Right? But see how it scooted it down? Scooted? Is that the right word? Scooted it down? It's not. It's definitely not scat it down. Yeah, scooted, I think. All right, or I go up here, watch the yellow line, boom, I drag it here and it goes magnetically to the front or where it needs to be right here on the clap. So let's just quickly put the kick back there too. Now I got, all right. Uh-oh. All right, so we're sounding good now, right? We're sounding good. Sounding good. Notice that when I click a selection, notice it gives me two arrows. I know you can't see the blue arrow right there, but the blue arrow right there. Right, so where if I click off of here, like with the selector tool, see it gives me my blue arrows there. And if I make a selection, see now you can see my blue arrows. But if I, oh, check this out. If I click 2 times, see with the grabber I click once. With the selector I have to do it 2 times. 1, 1, 2. Right? So check it out. And then let's learn about spot mode. Well, grid mode first. Grid mode's easy. All right, so no, we're gonna do spot mode. All right. So what am I looking for? Hats. All right, so I'm gonna grab my hats. Now, spot mode. See where it says 2-1 right here? Boom. All right, check it out. Spot mode. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my hats. And when I drag it down here, let it go, it says, hey, yo, where do you want the start of it to be? And I say, hey, I want it to be measure 2. So it says, okay, cool. So let's pretend that was like a snare drum, right? And you wanted to pop it in and like replace the real snare drum with a sample, right? Back in the 1900s, I got to work on a Gin Blossom song once and fly some tambourines in, right? And that was like crazy hard because you had to line up the stuff. Well, now Pro Tools is like, where do you want it to go? Boom, right? So now imagine that was like 1, pop, 1, pop. But if it was a reverse snare, like boom, zhak, I would want it to end up at the end of it. So that's why I could also line up the end with measure 2, right? And so now see how the end is at measure 2. Now, let's pretend that there was something in the middle here, right, that I wanted to line up with measure 2. So let's say I put it right here, and I want that part to be right at measure 2, right? The first thing I need to do is in that clip, I need to identify a sync point, right? And then it says, well, I know I can do the start or the stop, but now what about the sync point? Well, now I can put the sync point at measure 2. Now, I can read your minds. You're thinking, why would I want to do that? Right? Well, check it out. Maybe the song starts with a big cymbal swell and some toms and going like doom 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 boom bop boom, right? You might want to go and find that kick drum and then line that up on a downbeat later on. And we're going to talk more about that on Tuesday. And I don't freak out. I just remember I'm just expecting everything to make sense. Give me an MS if things are making sense. Okay? Give me a Q if you've got a question. And then you can start I'll know to pause to wait for your question. But at least give me a Q real quick. Or an MS. I'm looking for a Q or an MS. Good. Looks like I got everybody. I'm checking names. I'm checking them twice. I'm going to find out who's playing with their mice. Pulled that one out, didn't I? All right, so that was spot mode. Easy enough, right? A quick explanation. The easiest thing I can tell you is you're going to use spot mode a lot when you're doing dialogue with movies and things like that, because maybe the camera's off here and then they turn around, like they cough, they go, and they turn around and they say, hey, you, hey, you, what? Right? So, but you don't see them until they say, hey, you. So now you could identify that and put it in the space it needs. All right. So now let's talk about grid mode. Now, when I hold down here, I realize there's two modes of grid. Now, absolute mode goes best with orange juice. That's a vodka joke. No, but to explain the difference between these two, I've got to talk about my friend Terry. Now, Terry, you would never know it by looking at him. Somebody says Bacardi. No, man. You want real rum? You go to the Crucian St. Croix Islands, man. All right, but no, we're not talking about rum, man. We're talking about absolute, but we are talking about islands because Terry, believe it or not, by looking at him, was one of the great touring drummers with our friends Bob and Marley, Bob Marley and Z Marley. And luckily lives here in Central Florida, not too far away down the street from me. And we got to know each other and became friends. And he started recording with me, man. So you can imagine as we record the reggae, man, that his snare, let's say, is a little bit behind the beat, man, right? He's laid back, man, right? So we take this right here, man, and we go over to relative grid, man, because it's even though it's a little bit late, man, it feels good, man. Everybody know what I mean, man. All right, so check it out, man. Man, sorry, they don't say man, they say man. So check it out, man. I want you to notice a couple of words that I'm saying. Notice that my grid right now is on a full bar, man. So what I want you to notice is that it is moving by the grid, right? Everybody give me a big B right now. We know it's by the grid. Watch this. Watch this, man. See, when it moves by the grid. See, now it's still a little bit off, man, right? We see that it is moving by the grid, right? All right, now that is all good and well and fine. And that is when I'm trying to keep the groove, man. But let's say I'm playing with my buddy Ringo. And let's say Ringo isn't just right about playing right on the beat. Right? So we go over here and we put it in absolute grid mode, won't you think? Right? An absolute grid is going to move it to the grid point. Everybody give me a capital T real quick. I said a cup of tea. I mean a capital T. That's right, because now we've got Ringo playing drums and we've got to fix Ringo a little bit, don't you think, Paul? I think so. I mean, hold it now. What are we saying about Ringo? We're not saying anything about Ringo, Paul. We're just saying we got to fix it to the grid. Now look, it goes to the grid. Look at that. Hold it. I said to the grid. Oh, notice that it's my sync point. Let's get rid of the sync point. All right. Come on now. You're like, no, it's not doing that. All right. So now let me prove this real quick. Let's go hop back into reggae, man. All right. So now to prove relative grid, man. Right. We're moving to the beat. We're moving by the grid. Right. You'll see it's still off. It's not the by the grid. I mean, it is a by the grid. It is not to the grid. Right? Now we put it to absolute mode, right? For our friend Ringo. Right, Ringo? You need a little help on the drums, don't you? Shut up, John. You're not even supposed to be talking. You're dead. But look, Ringo, with grid mode, they can put it right on the grid. Look at that. It doesn't retain the off a beat. Now it puts it right on and it fixes it. It's easy to put on. Let's listen to the beat, Ringo. Now, I don't know if that's a good loop or not, Ringo. Let's see what it is. Well, you're going to do that, John. Well, I tell you, Ringo, you've got two ways to do it. The grandma way to do it is up under the options menu where you can just give me a little playback like the Shift LP. Shift Command L is what I'm talking about. That, you're like, what in the L are you talking about? I'm talking about Shift Command L, right? But check it out. The other way that you can do it is you can right click and go to loop mode. Now check it out. That is the way you can check a loop. See, that is the way if it sounds like poop. Cause if it sounds like poop, you can do it again until you get it right, my friend. If it sounds right, it'll loop real good. If it sounds like it'll do like you wish you would. That's what I say. What? My teacher was flowing bars when he loop recorded, man. He looped his chicken flowing bars. All right. Now, I realize that yes, just grab grid mode or spot mode or shuffle mode and just put them all at measure 1. But I wanted to explain these modes. Everybody give me a big M if you are down with the modes. I know what shuffle and slip can do, and then he showed me what spot can do with the start and the end and the clip mode too. And then I want to put it in the middle too, like a sync point. So I'm talking y'all a sync point. Oh yeah, that's right. And then relative grid versus absolute. And then that's when he showed me, kid. That's right. Let's stop. I just made that up. I swear, man, I can't practice this stuff, man. Oh man, anybody ready for a street battle? Any questions? Give me an AG or give me a Q so I know that you got a question coming up. I need to hear from everybody. I'm checking names. Robert's going, I'm in cringe mode because he thinks I can rap, but then he sometimes thinks I sound like crap. I don't always rhymes on the one. That's just like the sound when the 80s begun, but then you got to know. Where to triple it, yo. Then I gotta go, triple it, yo. All right, so we're all good with that. All right, well, let's just keep on moving then. All right, so that was the long way to get that. We moved that. All right, change the session to 120. Well, people are like, well, why in the heck do we want to change that? Well, look, you can look, just look at it, and you can look that it doesn't really match. Like if you were to count it, you would sound silly. You'd be like, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And that's not going to sound very good, right? Have y'all ever seen Steve Martin in The Jerk? You need to see Steve Martin in The Jerk. Oh, that is funny. Or at least look up the rhythm part about Steve Martin in The Jerk. Mama, I've got rhythm, if you're going to YouTube it and get the Cliff Notes. All right, so check it out, party people. The easiest way for me to explain this is to get a click track, which is easily done. It's the easiest thing in Pro Tools, by the way. Under the track menu, all the way down to the bottom, create la click track, which is what my friends would say. It's just French for create click track. All right, so when you did that, look, it made a little auxiliary track down here. 3 fingers down, boom. Look, it just made a little auxiliary track like that. See, right there, it automatically put a click on it. Now listen, it should sound like this. Click, 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 click. Let's loop it. Click, 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 click. But it doesn't. Let me show you how it sounds. Now, before I do this, you don't need to do this. I need to do this because I'm the teacher and I need to bring down the volume of these other 3. And I brought myself a little Submaster earlier. I packed them up in the bag. And so, like I said, you do not need to do this assignment. I'm just doing it so I can talk over the music. I am, though, holding down Shift and Option so I can change all 3 of these at the same time. And to make it quick, I'm just going to go to Track and Submaster. And you will notice that took all of the outputs, put them to Submaster, and it put my inputs there. So now I can just drag this down. Now, I want you to listen to this click on top of this now. Now see, the click should be going click, 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 click. But instead, it's doing this cool little triplet rhythm. It's going like cha, 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 cha. Some people are like going, what's wrong with that? It sounds good to me. but it's not, right? It's 7/8, bruh. It kind of got this weird like triplet, right? It's got like this quarter note triplet thing going on, or like half note triplet thing. It's weird. It's weird, I tell you. So I got to change the tempo. Now let me tell you right here. You can click this right here, the plus button. Now if you're having problems clicking the plus button, let me show you something here. Under Window, Transport, check it out. You got this guy down here. Now, if yours is just little itty bitty, right? Check it out. Mine's expanded, and it's got all this stuff. If yours is little bitty like this, and it's minimal, all you got to do is in this this little drop-down menu, say all, and then do it again, and say expanded. And then you get the big boy. All right, now check this out. See this guy with his hands in the air, waving like he just don't care? That's Le Conducteur. Now, Le Conducteur makes it possible for the tempo changes. It's either in Le Conductor mode, Le Conductor mode, man. Or check it out, I turn it off, and it's in manual tempo. Now, the biggest clue that you're in manual tempo mode is the word manual tempo right here. The other big clue is your conductor. See, it says conductor track. That's the guy with his hands in the air, waving them like he just don't care. All right, so check it out. If this is in manual mode, you can click this plus sign all day, and it's not going to work. So you got to be in conductor mode, right? Take this, put it to 120. Make sure you're at beat 1. Hit awk. Boom. And now listen. Holy cow, it didn't loop. Select 1. Now we loop it. Now my click is starting to work. It does not sound like Steve Martin and the Jerk. Believe it or not, even though I talk about Steve Martin and the Jerk, that's the first time I've ever rapped about Steve Martin and the Jerk. All right, so save. I'm going to hit Command S and just save for a minute. Let's go look. So that's changing our session tempo. Duplicate the drum clips 3 times for a total of 4 bars. All right, so check it out. This is one of the things that can tick people off because it's easy, but it's just kind of like you just got to click it in the right place, right? So you get your grabber tool, right? Because if you click once in here, you just don't get it. You got to click twice. And you can do that, but why click twice when you can click once, right? Now, check it out. If I wanted to select this, all of them in between, what button would I hold down before I do it? Some people say shift. And look at this, Jeffrey. Shift just makes me mad because it acts like command. And even, check it out, even if I hit command, that wouldn't work either, right? But check it out. If I hit shift on the track name, holy cow, would you look at that? Just look at it. That's all you got to do is just look at it. Isn't that crazy? It's all about where you click, man. And that's right. Somebody said Command D, that's my favorite rapper, right? Laying up on his homestead, up under the edit menu like all the other editing rappers, repeat, DJ shift, insert silencer, as I call IS, right? But look at that. Duplicate, right? Duplicate, Command D, my favorite rapper, right? Twice, once, boom, look at this, Command D. Boom, there it is again. Boom, one more time, 4 bars. Let's hit return to rewind. I just made it 4 bars and I can now just quit. Oh, yeah. Now check this out. I'm going to show you one of my favorite quick keys of all. Y'all lean in real close. It's this little A to Z button right here. It's called the keyboard focus button. And with that on, see you later, man. If you're watching the live archive, somebody just said, I gotta go to work. I'll see y'all during next session. It's like if we were in church, they'd sneak out the back row. They wouldn't be like, "Hey y'all, I gotta go to work. I'll see y'all next Sunday." I'm kidding, Joseph. Peace out, man. Enjoy your work. This is why we're online, so you can watch it anytime. Have a safe journey. All right, but check it out. We're getting into quick keys, right? So I got this little A to Z button called keyboard focus on, right? And my quick key is R and T. Zoom, real tight, and you can just hit it right like that, so you can get it right there. All right, so now I got this. All right, so look at that. Look at that. In grid mode, and with the grid resolution of 16 notes, duplicate the clap at 4-2 7 times. What? What? Are you serious? Okay, so check it out. So let's put ourselves in grid mode. Probably absolute grid mode. And then we go over here to the grid, right? And we click on this. Now, if you're not seeing note values, you might not be on the bars and beats. You might be on something silly like a time accord or something like that, right? But to make sure you're on bars and beats, and then what you can do, I said, make sure you're on bars and beats, and then you can make sure that you are down on the 16th note grid. Now, we've all learned that grid mode locks you to the grid, right? Because we're an absolute, not relative, so we're to the grid. And they said that there is a clap there at that there 42000. Now you can look upon this line and guess where 42 is and clap, and it's probably that one right there. Or you can just put yourself right there and hit the 4 and the 2 and then hit enter and look where it puts that play line right there, and just do a little zoom with your 2 key and look at that. Would you look at that? Just look at it. You're not sure where I'm getting that reference from, you might want to just look at YouTube and search, look at it. Now look, I'm grabbing the selector tool. That's the one that looks like the red cross sign or something, right? So now look, I can only select in grid mode, right? Unlike slip mode, right? See, slip mode, I'm like way whatever starting point, whatever ending point is like, right? You don't want that because we've got our grid working now. We want grid mode so we can make exact selections. Look at that. 4-2 to 4-2-40. Look at that. It's so pretty. Duplicate it 7 times. Are you kidding? All right, well, let's do it. Everybody count out. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like a wrestler. 5, 6, 7. And then boom, they kicked out. Right? Just like the WWE. They kicked out. Can you believe it? After 7 counts, they kicked out. He was almost gone, Triple H. I mean, I don't think Triple H would get out, right? Have y'all seen these NXT shows filmed at Full Sail? They are crazy, crazy, crazy. All right, let's see what this is looking like. We've got a funky clap now. I got my clap. I got a funky clap. Listen to my funky clap. Let's turn that. Let's just mute that click. All right. Oh, there's my clap. It used to be so miscellaneous. So miscellaneous. That's called rapping in prose. Just so you knows. All right. Well, that did it. Do not duplicate over the last clap in the clip. If there is no clap in this location, you have completed step 3 improperly. Well, there was, and we didn't continue. Oh, look. You know what this means? Whoa! We're halfway there. I'm not going to do the second part. It's way too high. In grid with a resolution of 16th notes. I think we've got that down. Copy the clap at 1 2 and paste it at 1 2 480. If there's no clap there, you've done step 3 improperly. All right. 1 and then 2 480. All right. So check it out. So 1 2. We just buckle your shoe, right? Just type it in, hit return. Buckle, bam, bam, boom, boom. All right. R and T, baby. Look at that. Zoomed right in. Just did that. Now check this out. Look at this. All edit, right? Copy, paste, right? CV, right? Everybody cool with that? Everybody knows CVX, right? So now check it out. I'm going to teach you this little trick with this button right here, keyboard focus. I don't have to hit the command key. I can just hit C. Now I know you can't see my hands, but watch. Oh, I just hit it. And see, and it wanted me to put it at 1 2 480. I just type it right in there. Whoops, I'm at 480. Isn't that what it said? Isn't that what it said? 1 2 480. Yeah. And now check it out. Just V. Bam. What? Ooh, it got funky. Listen again. Ooh, now it just go clap, clap. Command S. Now, y'all haven't been telling me to save. Nobody's told me to save yet. What's up with that? I thought y'all were like here to like help me out. You know what I'm saying? But remember, here's the real world. You don't ever want to tell an engineer to save in front of their client, because then their client's going to start looking at like, what are you doing, dude? You're not saving my stuff. So you got to work out something like, hey, dude, you're in command, right? And you tell the engineer that before you even start. Say, hey, if I notice you haven't saved in a while, I'll say something like, hey, you're in command, and that'll let you know to hit Command S. And then they'll thank you later on and probably buy a drink or something, because everybody loves lemonade. This is sounding good. Y'all know why Adele crossed the road? To say hello from the other side. That's right. I went there. Homeboy's still saying Bacardi. Dude, you gotta try Cruise and Run, brah. Not lying to you. Can anybody back me up on this? All right. Look at this. Resolution. It's like, Steve, why are you talking about rum during your classes? I'm not. I swear I'm not, man. I'm just trying to teach him a lesson. All right, check it out. Clap at 3 2. We're going to paste it at 3 2 480. All right. Y'all want to, all right, see this then? So check it out. 3, sideways arrow, 2. Whoops. 3, sideways arrow, 2. Enter. All right. Now I'm going to go TT. The clap at 3 2. Right. Just did it there. Hit C. Boom. Go up there. Hit 480. Hit V. Did we do it right? 3 2 to 3 2 480. There we go. Now let's listen. I hit return to rewind and listen to that clap. Oh yeah, that's pretty dope, man. Do you know why the turtle crossed the road? To get to the Shell station. All right, in grid mode with a grid resolution of 16. I got a kick. Holy crap, we got to delete the kick. Located at 1 2 480, and then another one. So we've got 2 kicks. Be sure to delete the entire click, including a tail. All right, what the tail? All right, so 1 2 480. All right, so just type that in. 1 2 4 to the 8 to the O. Bam. Now highlight your click track so you're up there. Zoom, 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 zoom. 1, 2, 480. So there it is, including the tail. So get all that stuff, including the tail. What the hell? You know what? You might as well just go to the next one. All right. But then it said that there's another one at 14240. 14240D. All right. Oh, and look, that's not a tail, y'all. That's not a tail. Don't do that. That's not a tail. That's another kick. So just get that one. Save. Let's rewind and see what that sounds like. Ooh. It gives a little variety. Very nice. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. Hey, all right, so that was that. Number 9. Look at this in grid mode with the resolutions. Wait, what is up with these 16th notes? Oh, that must be a very common resolution to work on in music production when you're in grid mode. Do you know what I mean? In grid mode, select the hat located at 3-1 and duplicate it 14 times. Holy crap. That's a lot of times. Be careful not to duplicate over the open hat located at the end of the region. That would not be good. 3-1. The hat. Go in here. Look at that. Duplicate it 14 times. We got our 16th note grid. Okay. Now look at this. Wait a minute. We've got some space right there. Is that okay? Let's measure that. It's 10 ticks. How many milliseconds is that? 5 milliseconds. We're okay. That'll work. All right. So I just wanted to check. Anytime I see silence, it makes me worried. And it makes me want Alfred to check it out. Now, do this. Now, all of my edit menus, all of my editing tools are under the edits. And everybody said Command D, but check this out. Pete and repeat were sitting under the edit menu. Pete left. Who was there? Okay. Pete and repeat were under the edit menu. Pete left. Who was left? All right, so repeat, y'all. All that is, man, it's a duplicate, and you tell it, I want to duplicate it 14 times like that, right there, and you hit okay, right there, and then it doesn't repeat over the last one. Let's listen to it. Oh, yeah. What does the sign next to the R mean? Oh, let me guess, Albert. You saw the sign and then it opened up your eyes. You saw the sign. Is that what happened? Yes, and the way you're going to remember that, people are like, dude, that's option. It's option. The way you're going to remember that, Alberto. May I call you Alberto? Just makes it sound a little more, like fancy. Alberto. Check it out. It looks like the little minus sign is about to go down the slide. Now, does it have to go down the slide? No. It's got the option to go down the slide. Now tell me, you're always going to remember that now, right? Option. Because it's got the option to go down the slide. All right, so option R, baby. Repeat. Bam. Option R 14 times. Bam. How do we know how long to select after the symbol hit? Jeffrey asked a good question. Sent in by Jeffrey from, I forgot where you said you were from, Jeffrey. I was trying to make it sound like Casey. From New Jersey. From his long distance dedication. How do we know how long to select? Because it tells you. Located at for a 16th note. Select a hat and duplicate it 14 times. So I guess it didn't really tell you to select the 16th note, but I did. I told you to select that hat in a 16th note grid, and then I told you right there. Cool. Good question sent by Jeffrey. All right. Is everybody cool with duplicate and repeat? Give me a DR if you are down with duplicates and repeats. They are basically the same thing. One works one at a time. One gives you a choices on how fine you want to be, right? All right, now select this one. This is the coolest part of the whole lecture except for my jokes. By the way, do you know why the toilet paper did not cross the road? It got stuck in a crack. That's right. It got stuck in a crack. Folks, if you are listening to the archive, I am just slaying these people. They are ROFLing, LOLing, LMBOAing, and all that stuff. Somebody says dad jokes, but no, these are bad jokes because everybody knows the difference between bad jokes and dad jokes. It's when it becomes apparent. Alrighty then, we're going to do this last one, selecting all three clips, the kick, the clap, and the hats, located 4-1 through 5-1, and navigate to the audio suite menu, which we are later going to learn that these are rendered effects. We're going to choose the pitch shift category for verify, render all three regions or clips, as some say, as clips, hats, and kick and claps. And all three clips should now slow down like a record store. Let's try it out. So I'm going to select from 4 to 5. I'm going to show you how to do it this way. Check it out. You type right up here, select that 4 like that, and hit that return like that, right? Then you take that in right there. You hit that in right there. Take that in, hit 5 right there, boom, boom. It hits the 4 to 5 right there. You hold that shift key right there, take it up there, click that right like that. See all them? Just like that. Right? Audio suite is where we keep all rendered effects. It said go to the pitch shift. Go to the verify. You're going to choose a couple things. You want to use it in your playlist, because why wouldn't you want to use it in your playlist? Why would you do it if you weren't going to bloody use it in your playlist, Ringo? I don't know, John. Sorry, Ringo's always... Jeez. Slow it down. Don't speed it up. Slow it down, Ringo. I'm telling you, I'm going to write it in there. I'll enter it in there, Ringo. And when I do that, look, it rewrites it, it puts a verify in there. My friends, my family, Albert, Carlos, Charlie, Frank, and Jeffrey, Lola, Richard, Robert, and William are all saying, Steve, what does this stop sound like? It sounds like a record stop. What do you think? I check it out, my record stop. I'll hit it on board and let it pop. What? Can I hear that again? Yes, you can. You can hear it again, my friend. I tell you what, I'll play it one more time. You can hear like lemon and lime, like Bacardi. I mean, cruising rum. Wow, I'm going to hit S. Holy cannoli. Do y'all know what those are? Those are really good Italian desserts. Gosh, this is making me hungry. Please review the next page for proper preparation and delivery of your session. All right, check it out, people. Once you completed this, navigate to the file menu, choose Save, Copy, In. Now, let me explain to you. We're going to jump down another teaching tunnel. Let me explain to you why Save, Copy, In is not just for us here at Full Sail University. At the end of every session, you want to save a backup file. Everybody say BF for backup file. That's right, Robert and Jeffrey Carlos were my first three, followed by Lala, William, and Frank and Richard. All right, backup file. So we're going to save a backup file in. Now, typically, you're going to save this as the same format as your session. So don't screw around with this. All right. But here's what you are going to do, you're going to hold down audio files. Now, I'm going to tell you a little story. Story time with Steve as we're in this teaching tunnel. Everybody gather around. There was this one time when Steve, back in the 1900s, was interning on a Jewel session. And back then, they recorded on analog tape. And Jewel was only in Nashville for one night, and Steve had to set up 2 studio sessions so she could go record at one and then go record at the other while they edited the first one they recorded, and then she'd go back and listen to the first one and do punch-ins while they edited the second one, and then she went back to the second one. And so she got 2 songs recorded in about 4 hours by utilizing 2 studios. Now, I had to take the tapes back and forth to the studio. Now, you can imagine that I might say, what feels light in my arms? Oh, it's the lack of 20 pounds of tape. Well, guess who doesn't have the luxury of carrying 20 pounds of tape to your car? This is why it is all crucial that you hit this audio files button, because you will easily forget not to, and then guess who shows up to the studio without audio files? That's right, the person that didn't hit it. So you're going to hit the AUK button, and when this comes up, it's automatically going to put copy of. I don't want it named that, so erase that. Hit delete. People that don't watch the video aren't going to do that, and I'm going to knock 10 points off. And they're like, oh, dude, you took off 10 points just because I didn't name it right. And I'm going to say, no, dude, I took off 10 points because you didn't watch my video, dude. Oh, come on, y'all know that was funny. Just stick it on your desktop. Watch this. Bam, hit Save. Boom. And now let's go look at the desktop. Now, I want you to notice what is different about, as my French friends say, le desktop, about the file here. Notice how it only has the audio files, the verified and the regulars, and the one where the regular session that we've been working on has got all sorts of files in it. This is how you send people clean files. See the difference between the two, right? I don't want all of that stuff you've been working and practicing on. I just want this. And I don't want that, just this. I want you to right-click on it, and I want you to compress it for me. Now, it did make that sound, but it didn't make the sound. That was me. So this is what I want you to upload for me, is that zip disk. Now, go ahead, practice unzipping this and making sure that it gives you what you need it to give you, right? Send it to yourself first before you send it to me. So once you complete it, navigate to save copy in. Now, I told you about how to do it. For me, real world, when you do this and you hit OK, you're going to navigate to an external drive or a cloud or something like that, all right, to put it somewhere safe, because it's not a matter of when your hard drive messes up. Sorry, I messed that one up. Let's take 2 of that one. It's not a matter of if your hard drive fails. It's a matter of when your hard drive fails. Word. All right, so now we got this. All right, so save copy in. Be sure to check the audio files box. That's going to be an awful way to get a 0. Once you have the archive session, compress the zip file and upload it to FSO before the deadline. So don't just guess on what we're counting. Look at this rubric, all right? If you don't check that audio files and you don't turn them in, you will get a 0. See, I knew that would come in handy later Um, by the way, all right. So 10 points. Save as has been properly described as step one. Session folder and the session file are named first name, last name, not copy of, not last name and then first name. But people are like, but I've been in the habit of writing it the whole time. And I'm like, dude, if you told me to name it something and you were paying me, don't you expect I could name it correctly? Right. That the files have been properly imported to the proper tracks, that you change the session tempo. And let me know if you got any questions as we did this, right? Because remember, I do not expect this to make for you to fully understand this after just watching this, but I do have expected everything to have made sense as we've been watching it, right? So, ask me if you need to see something again. We duplicated the clips for 4 bars. We played around with our claps, duplicating them, and then making some eighth note hits. So if it's something like this, I know this is going to sound extreme, but this is all or nothing, right? Let's say you duplicate them correctly, and you edit the one at 1-2 correctly, but you don't edit the one at 3-2 correctly. Sorry, I'm gonna have to give you 10 points off because it's exactly right or exactly wrong. And I had somebody saying I'm definitely going to have to rewatch it. If you are not rewatching it, you are not doing what we expect you to do, right? We do not expect you to do well if you do not rewatch the video at least another time and possibly a third time to practice. We played with our kicks, deleted them, right? We took our hats and duplicated them when we learned about the repeat function. We took our clips and processed them, rendering them with verify. And then lastly, we did that proper save copy in, and I showed you how I can tell when I open it up if I've got all those silly files or just the save copy ins. Now remember, late assignments will not be accepted. Now remember, we have a heart, so discuss any extenuating circumstances with your instructor before. Everybody hear that? Before the due date. Now, check it out. Because of this holiday, you do have an extension. It's not due on Sunday, but if I were you, I would just keep on chugging through because otherwise week 2 is going to seem extra heavy because you're going to have both assignments to do. So, with that being said, I like to save as I finish the archive. I always stay online to help people with non-related questions and things like that. So I'm going to ask real quick, have I got, give me an AG if everything is all good, or a question if you're going to start typing out a question, and I expect to hear from everybody, please. Whoop, whoop. Yeah, yeah. Well, that is wonderful. All right, so if you are listening into Archive World, remember, we expect you to watch this again. And Jeffrey has a question about the assignment, so I'm going to wait for him to answer to ask that, so I can answer that. He says it's not about the assignment, so he's going to stick around till after the archive. So I want to remind everybody, if you are watching this and it is not making sense, I want you to please reach out to your instructor, because even doing it 2 or 3 times will not make it make sense if you have not gotten it by watching the video. So please watch the video again, hit your follow button, reach out to your instructor if you need help. I want to thank everybody for showing up. Thank you, Albert, Carlos, Charlie, Frank, Jeffrey, Lala, Lazaro, Richard, Robert, and William. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate y'all being here, and I will see you again tomorrow night, because we got this quick lecture schedule this week. I will see you tomorrow night, same bat time, same back channel at 7 o'clock. So, once again, my name is Steve Kane, and as always, peace out!